Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to my latest tour, which is going to be walking around Mote Park, showing you the glorious park and indeed some Shaun Sheep sculptures. That's more of a mouthful than I thought. For those of you that aren't watching live, we're just going to be going into a 15-minute pre-live chat. So please feel free, if you're not live, to scroll forward. And the tour will start. If you think you're live, make sure it actually really is live when you're commenting, because sometimes people don't do that. I can see we've got some people with us. Let's say hello. We've got Leslie, we've got Robin, we've got Tish, we've got Claire, we've got Margaret, we've got Leslie. I don't think I've said Leslie twice. Ronnie, Catherine. I think that's it. I think I'm done. You will see I have the hair of a newly washed woman. Hello, Anne. Did I say hello? I think I've already forgotten exactly who I've said hello to. I really need to get a darker background because the chat is very light. Hello, Sue. Hello, Sarah. So I think it would probably be easier when I'm doing home tours if I had a darker fleece going on in the background. I have actually bought myself a new fleece with little sheepies on it. My friend brought me one at Christmas which had cats on it, so it's all very exciting. I have lots of fleeces going on. Do like to be warm and toasty. Peach is with us, but she's gone straight into her little igloo bed. She tends to accompany me here when I work. This is my home office, and she comes in. She's purring away. She thinks it's marvellous because it's not actually a work day and she gets to sleep in her little furry igloo. Yes, I heard Feliz Navidad, not Feliz Navidad. Hello, Mike. And I must admit, it really got stuck in my head and it was going round. So let's hope you mentioning it doesn't actually mean that that's going to go round and round my head. Hair's getting a bit long. I'm going to be seeing my sister at the weekend. I might ask her to chop it. Hello, Fran. I haven't asked her to cut it for about a year since we had a bit of a falling out over it, which is why it's so long. Could go to a hairdresser. Hate going to hairdressers. Hello, Cynthia. How are you? Yeah. But it's starting to look a bit ratty-tatty, isn't it? So, not that you'll agree with me, but I feel it's looking a little bit ratty-tatty. So I thought maybe have it chopped. I can't believe where the year has gone, though. We're already, what are we on? We're on the 26th of January, which of course is fabulous because, as you know, I don't like January. So I'm very excited that we are going to be moving into February. Hurrah! Oh, your Burns night went well. Were there lots of men wearing kilts? Thank you. I would like my hair this length if there was more to it and it didn't go all a bit ratty-tatty-roo. Ratty-tatty. There's another one. I appear to have a cat. Oh no, that's my own hair. See, they're actually falling out as we speak. I was going to say I've got a bit of fur on my lip, but I haven't. It's one of my own hairs. Oh, hello, Emma Braisby. And firstly, condolences, because I know that Arthur has gone to heaven to play with the other pups, chase the cuddly toy bunnies, etc., etc. Only two. One in the band, one behind the bar. I assume they were attached to people. Mike can only stay until 7, so please get the good stuff covered in the first half hour. Thanks. Michael, there is only good stuff, I think you'll find, for the entire hour of the tour. You will therefore need to revisit the second 30 minutes. In fact, now I may even try to slant it so that the best bit is in the second 30 minutes to force you indeed to watch it. But I can't because I've already planned it. It's too late. It is what it is. But I can tell you that the second half hour is going to be fabulous, in my humble opinion. Humble. So what happened today? Oh, today's been a marvellously productive day. I opened Prime. I can't remember, I was looking for something and I saw that Outlander was there for 6 days. So I thought to myself, I've heard a lot from Sam about this Outlander. Never watched it. Shall we have a little nose? I'm currently on episode 4. And I have, the first series is 16 and it all needs to be watched because it goes off Prime in 6 days. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. No, I don't think I'm not up to the challenge. It may mean that I am less productive in the evenings after work. I'm trying to work out if I obviously watch 4 hours today, then that would leave me with 12 over 5 days, which I think is fairly doable, but unfortunately means my digibox will fill up. Mike, I love your critique. Outlander's boring. No, I think you'll find, actually, I'm quite enjoying it. Quite enjoying it. It's a little bit of escapism. Hello, Susan. I'm flying by. And Tisha sent me... Oh, yes, it's a fly. That's okay. I was actually thinking, gosh, what is that? Looks like some sort of half butterfly, but then I realised it's actually just a fly, which would make sense. It's a half butterfly, it's a fly. It's not butter, it's a fly. No, well, I mean, and it's been around since 2017, so, but it's in the Highlands. Women seem to like it more than men for some reason, because it's a little bit romantic, you see, I think is probably why. Not at all to do the fact with the muscles on the leading man. Nothing to do with those whatsoever. Yes, so anyway, what else has been happening? A lot of rain, a lot of wind from outside. I think it was Linda who'll be probably watching on catch up, and if she isn't, well, she should be. Hi, Dawn. She did a post, is everybody all right in the big storm of the century? And I was like, well, it's not the storm of the century for down here in Kent. No, nothing, it's all been fine. And then I drove back and I saw that my garden table, my project, which I've never got round to doing anything with it, had been knocked over, but I haven't had any cats flying past. Bridgeton? No, I haven't watched Bridgerton. Not really enticed me from some of the trailers I've seen. It's a bit breezy with Mike. Are you outside on top of a hill doing a Highlander thing? Freedom! No, probably not. Are you actually indoors in the nice... Oh, no, a tree got blown down in our street. That's what I find really annoying. I saw a 100-year-old sycamore had blown over, and of course trees falling on people is horrible, horrible. I've got a really tall tree. It's just a Christmas tree, apparently, fir. It's incredibly tall, and I do think to myself, I do hope you never fall down, because you know, that would be quite a bang. You're here. I'm glad you're there, Mike. I'm glad I'm here as well. So actually, I'll have a look for you. Must be in the same place as me. Oh, what Lost? I watched Lost, and then I was annoyed, if I'm honest with you. But don't let that spoil it for you. Just don't watch the last episode. 140-year-old beech tree. It does sound rubbish, doesn't it? Just all that history just gone, boom. The good thing about sycamores is that they can re-sprout depending on stumps, but obviously if it's been blown over, I'm guessing the stump didn't probably go in half. Mike is in the Midlands of England. The Midlands. The lands of the middle. Yes, Lost was fabulous. I felt robbed. Oh, Robin's in Brooklyn. New York, New York. Yeah, not quite the same as Leicester, is it? Oh, Emma's in Nottingham, nearish. I'm actually going up to Lincolnshire in September. That'll be exciting. It's a bit of a Midlandsy. Saw Leicester. Woohoo! Wave to Nottingham. Woohoo! But with my mama and Michael, looking forward to it. A little cottage in Lincolnshire. The Shire of Lincoln. Cathedral, castle, wetness. What's not to love? Skegness. Well, I know Skegness because, of course, Natalie went there. I am hoping that I can encourage my mother to go to the seaside because I absolutely love looking at the sea. There's a couple of other places, Mablethorpe. And there's somewhere else that it's Caister-on-Sea. It's absolutely not where we're going, is it? Why would that pop into my head? Anyway, yes. So maybe Skegness, just because I've never been. It's always fun to go places you haven't been, even if they've got a bad reputation. I mean, that obviously is not necessarily applies to like places where wars are going on. Well, Mike, you said Mike is now saying Skegness he's not a fan, but considering he's just said Outlander is rubbish. In Gold Smells. Oh no, you haven't written In Gold Smells. In Goldmus. No, I've never heard of it before, and I read it wrong. You smell lovely. Thank you, Michael. Especially if they have a bad reputation, but it depends what they have a bad reputation for, of course. If it's guns, drugs and crime, not necessarily. But if it's somewhere that's a bit tacky and whatnotish, or a bit bizarre. If only everywhere had the funds to be the best of themselves. Skeggy for an ice cream. Oh, you can tell it's nearly spring. I bought myself some ice creams, put them in the freezer. How exciting. So we've got 2 hours and 45 seconds of breach or chat. Good Lord, that would be a long time. No, we don't. We have 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Go to Whitby. What am I watching at the moment? That flavour ice cream, mint and chocolate chip. I'm watching something set in York, Patience, which is rather good. It's a crime series, and one of the leads has autism, so that's quite interesting. I'd be interested to know what Ian thinks of it. Some of the, he won't probably watch it, but some of the stereotypes, but then stereotype based on actual. But yeah, interesting. Watching so much telly at the moment, what can I say? No time for housework. It's outrageous. Carpet's so furry, I could probably knit a duvet from it. Hello, Laurie. You're very excited to see Robin. Could you be slightly excited to see me? Boo-hoo. They used to do a Kit Kat sundae in Skeggy. That sounds horrible, actually, but that Kit Kat, by the way, is a chocolate bar. She's not actually talking about putting an actual cat in an ice cream. Mainly because you just get mud in the ice cream from their dirty feet, having literally had a puzzle over the last, I don't know, 3 months of wondering why there always seems to be a bit of soil in the cat water bowls. So I saw Apollo having a drink the other day, and then he tapped it with his paw. And I thought, that's why I have soil in the water bowls. Is there any reason? See, there's some left. No, there isn't. Hello, lethargy. You've got Kit Kats in the States. Oh, fabulous. Well, maybe they don't have Kit Kats in some of the countries that are watching. I mean, Kit Kat is perhaps a very global brand. I used to eat a lot of Kit Kats, but there you are. That's probably the most interesting fact you'll have from me today. But now I don't. See, I always eat something, then go on to something else. And that's it. We are indeed, before I'm told, we are now live. Well, I was live before, but we're now actually starting the tour because it is indeed 6:30 UK time, which is rather fabulous. So today we will be looking at some videos I took when I went to Mote Park back at the end of August last year, which of course is when we had the Shaun Sheep sculptures out in force. I went to Mote Park a couple of times. Once it was beautifully sunny. I think I had to go 3 times. Once it was beautifully sunny and my battery started going. The second time it was incredibly rainy. And I think then I went the 3rd time to finish the tour. So lots of visits to Mote Park. I'm going to share the video with you. Hopefully there won't be any wind noise, other noise, but we'll manage the volume as we always do by you telling me what it sounds like. So this is the first bit. And I think, no, the Shauns have been, all went the auctioned. I will be doing my last Shaun Sheep tour, which will be covering what happened to the Shauns. So this is Mote Park, which is set in Maidstone. It's a fabulous park. The word mote is actually spelt M-O-T-E, which comes from the Old English word moot, meaning meeting place. During the late 12th century, or indeed the early 13th century, the area was stocked with deer and had a mansion house at its core, which is rather would have been rather splendid. King Henry V ordered over 7,000 cannonballs to be made from ragstone, which was mined from under Mote Park and Maidstone, and they were to defend against those pesky French in 1419. Now this is exciting. I'm bending down my exercise for the day. Oh, look! I put it back, I can assure you. Oh, I think I missed the wood, which is where I was planning to chuck it to, but you can't see, so we'll never know. I'm sure it's fairly gone by now. There is a bit of wind noise, so see if we can remember how to... Oh! I think that was... No, where's Sue? Sue will tell you exactly what that was before I tell you and get it wrong. There's too much of a risk. Hello, Carolyn. Too much of a risk telling me. It wasn't a profiterole from M&S, I can tell you that, Susan. If they were falling out of that tree, then I'll be visiting every day. Well, I thought it was an acorn as well, Margaret, because I was going to say a squirrel ate it. Then I thought I don't want to say that, and people with, and he said culinary expertise, come back and say, no, it's not an acorn, it's a something else. I think it's a fresh acorn rather than a, so probably too green. Probably the squirrels don't like it. They usually come up a bit brown, or I found one on Friday when I was getting a bit of compost, where a lovely one of my squirrels had earthed, I should say. Yeah, it will go brown, Tish. Well, it would have done. I think it's been knocked out of its tree, knocked out of its shell. A baby acorn, yes. Not fully grown into itself. Not ripened. Now, lots of royal connections with Mote Park. So in 1370, Mote Park was bought by the Woodville family. In 1464, Elizabeth Woodville married King Edward IV. And that meant that the park became the possession of the royal family. So from Henry V to Edward IV. And then, of course, just to keep up with the royals, before their marriage, Henry VIII visited the park with Anne Boleyn. So it's fairly amazing to think that you could be walking in the steps of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Now, sadly, in 1793, the mansion that I spoke about earlier was demolished and it was rebuilt by 1800, and the River Lem was dammed to form the lake. Now, for those of you who remember my tour to Archbishop's Palace in Maidstone, you will see the River Len where it feeds into the River Medway. Just a little trickle there. And the addition of internal roads, walls and a boathouse and a bridge over the lake. Bridge over the wall. Yes, I find saplings too, Susan. The squirrels dig them, and then if you're not careful. But I just love to look at water. I think it's just so super calming. Unless, of course, you're about to get attacked by a gaggle of geese. And I think this must have been the day it was really rainy, because the sky's looking rather dark clouds. Hello? And this is where Mike tells me it's either a moorhen or a coot. Because it doesn't matter how many times he tells me, I'll always forget. And the reflections are just fabulous, aren't they? It's a coot. Thank you, Mike. Maybe one day I'll remember, but I wouldn't want to disappoint you with my forgetfulness. Oh, look, Mike, there's a coot. I'm sorry. Shouldn't find myself funny. Whitehead, bald as a coot. I'll try and remember that. It's a good tip. Can't guarantee it, as you know. Coot. But yes, you could see a coot scoot across the water. I love the conversations that randomly are coming up. So Coot is not a US brand of chocolate, to be fair. Look at these doggies. I would suggest a bit of a senior here. Oh, yes, yes, with the old white eyebrows going on. It is very distracting when you go to Mote Park because there are so many beautiful doggies. Look at that wiggly bottom. Yes. Fabulous. It could be a young pup trying out maybe stick-on white eyebrows, but I think it's probably unlikely, Laurie. And what's really great is how accessible the park is. And just to demonstrate, we have a stroller. Obviously, I'm now filming greenery to avoid showing the young'un. Looks like I've actually gone into the bush at that point, but I can assure you I didn't. I would suggest that's not the healthiest tree. It's a bit like the Channel 4 advert, which unfortunately anybody not in the UK won't know, but there's an advert which has a metallic something looking like that. Hopefully you can just hear the little sounds of birds without it being overpoweringly birdy, like we had when we went to Leybourne Lakes. The British Armed Forces commandeered the park in 1941 as a headquarters for the mainland invasion. And in 1949, Winston Churchill visited the Kent County Show, which was held here, to collect his winning rosette and cup for a cow and calf competition. And if you can see, what can we see coming up? For those eagle-eyed amongst you, and thank you, Leslie. Thank you very much to those of you who are liking the video, or indeed able to send me a little something via Buy Me a Coffee, PayPal, carrier pigeon. Unfortunately, for some reason, the gimbal was slightly playing up, so what you're seeing in the corner isn't actually a ghost. It is the corner of the gimbal. I had to reset it. It is indeed a Shaun Sheep. Well, that isn't. That's a dog. Where is it? I don't know. Where is it? In the sand. That's going to be a very wet, smelly dog. I think one of the ways to help depression is just to watch dogs swimming and larking about, because they have so much joy. And here we have Don't Be Coy, Shaun. Now, B is B-E-E, and coy is, of course, K-O-I. Now, unfortunately, this one has suffered slightly, as you will see. Oh, I probably, my shoes have been absolutely wrecked. Unfortunately, I must go shopping and buy some new ones before I do. Slightly sad that we're looking at the litter bin here, but hopefully you do get the chance to admire these wonderful designs. Now, it's been designed by Keith Siddle. Keith specialises in painting fish, especially koi carp. And he's embraced the same work ethos the most eminent Japanese breeders use in nurturing their champions. So, dedication, patience, detail, enthusiasm, and passion. I mean, I'm loving that yellow one, if I'm honest with you. The yellow and white one, I think, yellow and white. And of course, then we've got this beautiful detail on the feet, which I'm also finding quite lovely. Butterfly on the old nose. Butterfly on the head. And the clouds. And you can see the rain. You can see what I braved to bring this to you guys. And he paints tropical marine fish to other sea life which have been inspired by his scuba diving experiences, to food art inspired by eating. He's also written and illustrated 3 children's picture books. And this is an interesting one, trying to get the top of the Shaun. Where is the bee? Now don't stand up too quickly. You will whack your head on a Shaun. Oh! There's a fly there, you see. Not quite the bee you're looking for. The colours are really vibrant against that. It is actually like you're looking at a real fish rather than a painted fish. Peach would probably quite like me to have some koi carp in a pond, so she could have a fish supper. Got a butterfly, a dragonfly. And there you are. There's your bees. Bees are good. I think the feet do love a bit of floral, especially those colours. And Mr. Siddler's also written and illustrated, I told you, 3 children's picture books, which I actually did think about Googling so I could see. And hopefully you can see at this moment that I'm actually being rained on. Which is fun, isn't it? Which is why the video stops at this point, because I was being rained on. So what I'm going to show you now is from the other side of Shaun's bottom, which I think is rather lovely to look at. I mean the view, not his bottom, although both are true. And you can see why the doggies love it so much. Ah, Tina's just woken up. Well, Tina, make sure to watch the bit you missed, but luckily you've only missed 17 minutes of tour and 15 minutes of pre-live. I'd actually hidden under this tree at one point because, as I said, it was raining. And then I decided to film from the from this vantage point. Of course, I didn't have an umbrella or a waterproof or anything to protect myself from the rain, because it wasn't meant to be raining. No, Tina, you haven't seen any of this before. This is a new video that I have saved, so you won't overloaded with Shaun. And so when I'm not able to actually leave the house and do tours due to the atrocious weather, we've got lots of lovely things to look at. But you have not seen this before. Nobody has, except from me, because I was there and I took the video. And then we go on to the next section, which starts from Don't Be Coy. So we just have a look. And it appears that somebody was there. I'm not sure what his name was, but there it is written in blue. How delightful. I mean, I say the weather's dreadful now, but actually I did get rained on then, but at least it wasn't chilly. And it cleared up. You can see a little bit of blue sky trying to come through there. So Mote Park is in Maidstone, Tina. So I did do the first half of Mote Park. It's far too long to walk round for one tour. So I did do, you have seen the other half of Mote Park, and this is the second half. And what we have on this side, I think you saw probably more lake on the other side, and this time you're seeing the gorgeous expanse of trees and green and doggies. There's a tree, definitely past its sell-by date. And that's Dementia Walk, common birds. There's over 100 different species of birds live in Mote Park. And what's fabulous about this Dementia Walk? So it's basically a dementia-friendly walk, which was officially opened on 31st of January 2017. So it's nearly been in existence for 8 years, and it's designed to stimulate all the senses. So the walk provides a safe, enjoyable route for those with dementia and their carers, and it's got a mix of interpretation panels and audio posts. And walkers are encouraged to feel the bark textures on certain trees, and on the audio tours they might be listening to birdsong, for example, which is great because I saw one of the comments about the walk is that it was really great for her because she was visually impaired, so she might struggle to see the read the panels, but what she could do is listen to the audio. And it's just really great to obviously provide things like this within the community. Now, what you're coming up to here would have been Shaun on the Spot, but Shaun on the Spot was removed for a bit of TLC. So what we're looking at is the plinth. So we just wanted to let you know Shaun on the Sculpt has been returned to the Fremlin Walk. And the good news is, of course, I popped into the shop and took a video. So we'll look at that later in the tour. And he, again, I met the artist for that one. She made him all better. He wasn't nicked. How many miles of walking track is it? Well, I wouldn't like to say how many. There's over 450 acres. So that includes natural features such as grassland, woodland, rivers, and a 30-acre lake. So you could probably spend all day wandering around. It depends how fast you walk. You could possibly walk round the lake in about an hour. But that would be quite a trot. Mote House has been redeveloped as retirement apartments and cottages. So, of course, that's fabulous. Can you imagine having this right on your doorstep? I'm just going to go and walk into my extended garden, walk round my lake. Now, the park is Grade 2 listed with English Heritage. But in 2011, there was major construction work to improve the park and return some of its historical views. £2.5 million funded by a 1.8 million grant from Heritage Lottery Fund and the Big Lottery Fund, and Maidstone Borough Council put in £700,000. So this is a well looked after park, and some of the trees really are just absolutely beautiful to look at. set on the edge of the lake. Bit of nice shade if it's rather hot. It might not surprise you that in 2014 Mote Park was actually named the nation's second favourite park. 2015 it was third, and in 2016 it came in the top 10. They didn't have an order then. The People's Choice Award for their favourite green flag park, which covers 1,582 parks and green spaces. The Green Flag Award is an international accreditation given to publicly accessible parks and open spaces, which was launched in 1996. So on the right there you will see, and for those of you who came on my first tour, you will actually remember, hopefully, there were some dragons and swans that you could hire, as in boats rather than actual dragons or swans, to actually kind of row across the lake, or rather paddle across the lake, foot paddle. I do love the colour of these, just on the edge. Lovely pinks. Oh wow, Sue, well done. Sue managed 2 green flag parks. What I would say is you probably don't want to drink the water. Pedalos, thank you so much, Leslie. That is the word I was looking for. You can, of course, canoe across the lake, stand-up paddleboard, kayak. Look at that colour just glinting off the water, and the fish coming up, no doubt, for a little bit of bubbles. The water would be coot flavoured. I think it might be coot excrement flavoured, as well as every other little animal that's in there. I am Tina, but I'll shockingly tell you that now this is fascinating. I thought you'd like this. Shelf fungi. Yes, Tina, I hadn't been to the park in years, so that one looks like a little front door, doesn't it, going on in there? And that one. Bracket fungi. I certainly wouldn't eat anything that didn't come from a supermarket in the mushroom department. Fairy houses, Tina, yeah, that's exactly what they probably are. Stop the rain coming into the little fairy house. And off we trot. Well, off I trot, going up this massive hill. I make so many sacrifices, and what do we see at the top of the hill? Lovely dead tree there on the right. A little pause there while I tried to play with volume and actually closed my screen. Aren't I clever? Now this little, I think it's more of a lady, this one. This is All You Need Is Love by Emma Graham Illustrations. There are 109 in total, large and littlies. $52 of the largies. Hopefully, Sue, you've got your picture back. I think the chat's slightly lagging. Now, Emma also did Wolfie, which we saw outside the Kent History and Library Centre. Now, Emma's an award-winning, highly experienced illustrator and graphic artist based in Suffolk. She designs and illustrates everything from children's books and book covers to seed packets, greeting cards, private commissions, and a silver gilt medal was won for her Chelsea Flower Show display. And I love the fun. Because somebody just asked Sue to refresh her device. It was, and she's designed several sculptures for the Wilding Art Trails. And this is one is very funky. Love the colours. And of course, hearts for eyes. Not literally. So I would leave the tour and come back in. This one is very, oh, I've forgotten his name. Yay, baby. Oh, Phil, Austin Powers. All You Need Is Love, and of course you is spelt E-W-E, as in female sheep. And of course, if you can hear the song All You Need Is Love going round your head, then there's another earworm for you. And off we go again. And you can see again here what I referred to about the dementia walk, saying feel the trees, so feel the difference of the bark from almost smooth, obviously, to quite rough. And that structure that you're seeing ahead of you between the trees, that's actually newly built, the new Mote Park Cafe was officially opened on the 14th of September 2023 by the Mayor of Maidstone. And you can see the little puddles of rain, which I didn't jump into. And here we have new planting, which is nice to supplement the really mature trees that we have, the veterans. You could go in that tree and hide and then pop out at unsuspecting people. I wouldn't necessarily suggest it, but I'm just saying. By the way, that was me, if you heard that noise, it was me just pulling up my zip because I've suddenly realised how actually it's really cold in this room. Because I've only just turned the radiator on in it. Ah, Tina, how can you not know who Lamb is? How have you managed to go through these many years and not been introduced to Lamb? For those of you who don't know who Lamb is obviously a real lamb, and he serves drinks, refreshments, snacks during tours. He's not imaginary, Tish, please. We all know Lamb. We've never seen him, but we know he exists. I would have met Lamb coming up for possibly nearly 3 years ago now. Again, more about the dementia walk, showing the different stops. Lamb is always welcome on my tours. Occasionally he misbehaves and we have to put him on the naughty step, but no dissimilar to most of you. Again, we've got a lovely, lovely waste receptacle there on the left. Nice green, fits in very nicely. Bit of wildflowers going on here, rather lovely. And another bee for you, but a real one this time. Oh, I do apologise. That was a sneeze. Bless me. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to do them quietly. Now, I think you're going to quite like what we've got coming up as a view. I must be allergic to bees. That's probably what set me off. And there you are. It is a rather large lake, isn't it, Leslie? But off we trot to find another Shaun. I'll do the heavy work and go up the stairs for you all. How deep is the lake? Well, I'll jump in and let you know, Dawn. I believe it's rather deep. Lake Shaun indeed, Tish. That would have been the one opposite, just where we're looking out over. I don't think we could actually see it quite, but what I will do is there's a mural, there's a piece of artwork there, and I will actually come back at some stage and do another tour of the lake and show you some of the other bits and bobs. Lake Leonie, oh, that would be nice. I wouldn't mind a lake being named after me. But I think I might have to settle for a puddle. Do an orienteering course. Go on an adventure with a map and your phone. Learn how to orienteer. And we're coming up to the last Shaun of this video. Unfortunately, another green bin for us, but hopefully you will soon be able to see. Past the playground. I'm afraid I'm a little bit too old to actually go down that slide. And we're coming up to Ballet Dancer. It was designed by Lynn Hollingsworth. She's a contemporary artist who's painted professionally for over 20 years. She's multi-award winning, exhibited for King Charles when he was His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales. She delivers creative, inclusive and multidisciplinary arts projects to clients across the UK, including the National Health Service and National Trust. Projects include mural enhancements, sculpture, illustration and design. Her mantra, which I think is a wonderful one, is "Everyone is welcome," which reflects her commitment to inclusion and diversity. Now, this one was actually a very popular sculpture. The feet are quite something, aren't they? Got a lot of different, you've got stars, dots, stripes, strokes, and ballet shoes. And look at those little ears, aren't they? Ah, welcome back, Sue. I know you'll watch it again on catch up, so at least you won't miss anything. And again, the rain, the rain. It's so clever, isn't it, Carolyn? I'm surprised I didn't knock myself unconscious, all these leaning down under sheep heads. And of course, just fabulous for the kids. And of course, the big kids, to have Shaun looking out over the play area. And then I'm going to show you the one that we couldn't see because unfortunately he needed to have a bit of TLC. This is Shaun on the Spot. Designer is Karen Newton Anchor. Now, Karen's actually worked for the hospice for 6 years. She's Trusts and Major Gifts fundraising manager. And she says, I see, hear, speak and write about the impact the hospice has on a daily basis. I'm so incredibly proud to work for such a wonderful organisation. Her style is the technique of stippling with design, representing Aboriginal, folk, Asian and Native American beadwork design. And she can be contacted for private commissions. Now what you'll see is where she's actually sanded down to repaint and then revarnish. And I think this one is just shame I couldn't show it to you in all its glory, but you can see the detail here and you can really, it does look like beadwork. And that leg on the left in front is, yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I was lucky enough to meet her when I was volunteering at the kind of where everybody came to see all the Shaun Sheeps. And afraid this one, I didn't have my gimbal with me, I think, so look at the design on the front, and of course loving the owl and the bird on the right. Really is quite spectacular. And there's her information, so I tend to show you those, so I want to make sure that didn't miss that one. Now, bit of excitement for you. I'm going to be showing you two additional Shauns. Now this is by the River Medway, by the Mote Park. And this is called We Heard You Like Ice Cream by Karen King. Now, she's an illustrator and gallery owner who creates work for clients across the world. She's got over 170,000 followers on TikTok, where she demonstrates painting techniques everyone can enjoy. TikTok, of course, is a bit of a hot topic at the moment. Now, she believes art is crucial for mental well-being for the creator and the onlooker. She loves experimenting with all media, and she's influenced by the natural world and popular seaside culture. When I looked at her TikTok profile today, she had 168,700 followers with 2.2 million likes. She also has an online shop if you're interested, where you can buy stuff. And of course, don't worry, I've taken a note of the questions and the answers like you would get on a lollipop stick. What is an astronaut's favourite salad? The answer is rocket. What did the ice cream seller win in the lotto? Hundreds and thousands. What is brown and sticky? This is. And what do sheep eat in the summer? And I like this one. Barbecue. Now, if this doesn't make you hungry, I don't know what will. But this is a really fun one. This would be really fun to have at the seaside, would it? wouldn't it? You can see the rocket lolly there. And of course how it all fits in with the hundreds and thousands there. And you can see some little birds. Oh, great dad jokes. Great Shaun jokes. Just like you get on your ice cream lollies. And here we are, we've got two together, which is quite fun. They're pals, I think. I think it's fascinating how people's minds work. Really is. So creative. And this one is Shaun Sells Sea Shells by Jane Mote, or Mote. I may have pronounced that wrong. She's a conceptual and written word artist with a background in fine art as a social practice and English literature. She's influenced by an eclectic mix of art movements from Renaissance to the Surrealists, to the Dada poets, to early contemporary art practices. She's helped raise hundreds of thousands of pounds for charity via the Wild in Art sculptures. Now, this sculpture is a play on the English tongue twister She Sells Sea Shells by Terry Sullivan. And it was written in 1908. Now, she's quoted, "Shaun sells sea shells by the sea shore. The shells Shaun sells are seashells, I'm sure. For if Shaun sells seashells on the seashore, then I'm sure Shaun sells seashore set shells." Which I would suggest you cannot say quickly, or if you've had a little drinky poo. And again, there's so much, I think, sometimes when you look at these sculptures, you don't actually see straight away. And yeah, the lobster claw ears. Again, the really fun. I think this is a great little pairing here. And of course, let's not forget, these sculptures were organised by the Heart of Kent Hospice, the whole trail, which offers specialist care for people aged 18 and over who are living with a terminal illness. They also support their families, carers and friends, and they help people live as well as possible in comfort with independence and dignity. It costs £6 million a year to deliver their services. They're a charity and depend on donations for 80% of the cost of delivering their services. They recognise everyone is different and tailor the care and support to their specific circumstances and take a holistic assessment of their needs. And in addition to medical care, they have a team of counsellors, welfare advisors, social workers, chaplains and volunteers offering financial and welfare advice, psychological and spiritual support. Some of the care is provided in the hospice building in Aylesford, which is just down the road from me, but they also support people in their own homes, in residential homes and in the community. Now that's a little taster of a tour I will be bringing you. And I'm not going to tell you anything about it now, but I will be very excited to take you there. And hello, Marlene. Nice to see you. You have unfortunately missed quite a lot of the tour, and I could end it there, but I won't. Because what I did is, when we had one of our Maidstone in town, I showed you Iggy from the outside of the gate. What I did is I nipped inside so I could do you a bit of a tour of close-up of Iggy. Unearthing Iggy was designed by Jasmine Haskell who's a Kentish artist and designer. She's a big fan of all things weird and wacky. She's often busy creating unusual animal costumes, making puppets, designing theatre productions or drawing. And this, of course, is inspired by Maidstone's Iggy the dinosaur, who was found in 1834 and is a Mantellosaurus. Mantellosaurus? Yes. Not an iguanodon, which is what was first thought, which, of course, why we still call him Iggy. Mantelli doesn't quite have the same ring to it. As most of you know, I spent most of my summer running round filming Shaun's for you. And yes, Marlene, the good news is you can watch back. This tour will still be available on YouTube. And thank you so much for liking the video. Doesn't really do much, just makes me feel good about myself. I think maybe YouTube might think, oh, this is splendid, and they might recommend it, but I'm not really sure. There's a lot of bones on this one. Aren't these just great? And actually the colouring is rather interesting behind. Did I leap over the fencing? No, it was open. So this is the front of the museum. So I had to come back when the museum was open. I'll be honest, if you look at the height of the wall and that fencing, there is no leaping going ahead. It would be impalement. For those who know me well enough, they would know that me leaping would cause quite a few issues. Yes, cave drawings. Yes, very good. And then, very lastly, because for those of you that were with me in my Maidstone by the River tour, you may remember that we had a bit of an incident with a chap who was climbing on this sculpture. So what I did was I returned. It's rather dark. I can assure you I wasn't murdered. And this is Shaun's Reminder of Kindness by Ellie Beasley. She's a 21-year-old graphic design student from Maidstone studying at Loughborough University. She entered a design because of the amazing care her mum received while at Heart of Kent Hospice. So this is a really personal design. Ellie wanted to show her mum's kind and caring nature as well as her love for plants and flowers in her design. And I really wanted to give this one a little bit more of a spotlight after the incident, obviously, that we experienced, which wasn't very pleasant. Unfortunately, of course, it's dark, so the lighting isn't fabulous, but there's a street light, so you can see the light shining on it, and hopefully, of course, we did see it before in the light, but I think we were slightly distracted. Spread kindness like wildflowers. Wouldn't that be amazing if every time we spread wildflower seeds, that was how we shared kindness? Absolutely. This one really come from the heart. And what a talent at 21 years old. I quite like this one in the dark, sort of like a beacon. And there you have it, kids. That's your lot for today. Hope you enjoyed it. So we've been to Mote Park, and then we've gone round the front of the museum in Maidstone Town, and then we've gone by the amphitheatre. And not forgetting, of course, our little visit to the two friendly Shauns who were keeping each other company. Different designs, all rather lovely. it's interesting. What I will be doing is I think I'll be doing a final tour which will show you the little Shauns that I took videos of. We'll talk about what they raised at auction. I'm really interested to know your favourites, because I think I know I've got a favourite, but I think they all appeal to us in different ways, and there are things that I love about them, you know, for different reasons. Next weekend, it's actually my niece's birthday, so I'm not going to be about, but what I thought would be lovely is I'm going to, and by not about, I mean I'm not about to spend enough time on research for the tour that I was thinking of doing. So what I think would be really lovely is if we watch my Supertar tour again, which is when I went to Croatia in May 2023. I'm thinking about going back to Croatia in May 2025. And I thought it would be fun to look back on that tour. So what I'll do is what I do now, of course. I'll do a live pre-live, huzzah, and then I will stream the video. And then at the end, maybe you can have a little chat about it. But I don't know if you all went on that tour. But from what I remember, it's quite fun. So thank you all for attending today. Thank you everybody who was able to send me a little something either via PayPal or Buy Me a Coffee. Interestingly enough, Buy Me a Coffee still haven't given me an answer to a question I asked many weeks ago. It is frustrating, time consuming, and all the ings. So yeah, I just need to, I think I might have already booked a slot in the calendar which didn't clash with people for next Sunday, so I'll be setting that up at some point. Yes, so lots of love to everybody. I hope you have a wonderful week. Can you believe my niece is going to be 19 on the 1st of February? Was that where I talked to that fisherman? No, this is the one, I think, where we actually ended up meeting the lady with lots of cats. The one with the fisherman was the sunset, which was a glorious sunset. Then we also did the cemetery, which was also fabulous. And I've got another video to share of the cemetery, actually, when it wasn't raining, in the sunshine. So, yeah, still lots to see and do. Obviously, this period is rather grim weather-wise. So I'll be streaming pre-recorded videos, just finding the time to do the research so I can do them justice. But thank you. Yes, happy birthday to Amy. So you take care, everybody. Speak soon. Bye.